So the three stretches that I do for baseball that really helped me a lot are the 90-90 stretch, the split squat, or couch stretch. They both kind of do the same thing. And the rotator cuff stretch. These are my top three stretches for baseball. Very good, but you just stretch the other side like that. And then, because you're getting really deep in that stretch, you just push it down slowly like this. Alright, so the first stretch is really simple. You just want to put you want to sit down on the floor like this. You put your left or right leg, whichever one you want to put out. You put it out like this in a 90-degree position. And you do the same thing with your back leg, like this. So one leg is like parallel with your body and the other is perpendicular with it. So you kind of have a 90-degree angle here and a 90-degree angle here. And then what you do is you just fold over this leg, and you should feel a stretch when you do that. And then what you do for the second part is you just try to like rotate, and you want to try to get your back shoulder to touch this foot. And if you do that, you should feel a stretch along this part of your leg, or it's called inner rotation or whatever, something like that. Internal rotation, that's it. So it's this stretches internal rotation. This stretches external rotation. And then you just switch sides like that, if you can. It's not very easy. You can't do it very good, but you just stretch the other side like that. And then you can mess around with that. You can hold it, or you can just go back and forth like this, or like that. Or you can hold each side for like 30 seconds, whichever one works better for you. So that's the first stretch, the 90-90 stretch, which is like, it feels pretty good after you've been doing it for a while. And it helps with your swing, because when you swing and you turn your leg in like that, it's not a good example, but when you swing and you turn your back leg, that's internal rotation. And you do the opposite with your front leg, so it really helps with baseball. Alright, so the next two stretches are stretches for your quads and hip flexors. And this is something that's helped me with, like, if your back ever starts hurting, it's something that helps, because usually it's from your hip flexors getting tight, because your hip flexors connect to your back. So if you stretch your hip flexors out, then your lower back should feel a lot better. So the first stretch, the couch stretch, you put your shin against the wall like this, and you want to put your knee right against like the intersection between the floor and the wall like this. And then you try to get this leg out in front like a lunge. And you can either try to move your hips forward from there and try to contract your glute, or you can go back like this and try to get your butt to touch the back of your heel. And if you want more of a stretch, you can raise up like this and do it. But if that's too much for you, you can just stay down like this for now. So that's the first stretch, the couch stretch. And then the next stretch is called a split squat. It's basically just like a lunge, but a lot deeper. So you get kind of pretty wide with your feet. And you want to try to send your hips down and forward like this. And you should feel a stretch in your hip flexors. It's also good for your ankles, because you're getting really deep in that stretch. So you might feel it in your calf a little bit too. So you can kind of choose between either one of those. I like to do both, but if you don't have time, or you just don't really feel like doing two stretches for the hip flexors, you can just choose one. They both work pretty similar. So the third and final stretch is called the rotator cuff stretch. I guess I don't have a name for it, but so you lie down on your side like this, and when I bring your arm, it doesn't really matter when you're starting out, but if you bring it like closer into your body, it hits it from a different angle like this. And then if you move it out, it hits it from a different angle too. So basically what you want to do is what I just showed you. You just put your arm up like this. You put your hand on the back of your hand, or forearm, whatever you want. And you just push it down slowly like this. And you can move it around a little bit, and you should feel it right there on your rotator cuff. And this is a really good one for pitchers too. And the first time you do this, you might be really tight there, but eventually you can work up to getting your hand to touch the floor. Yeah, this is the final stretch. And you want to make sure that you're getting this arm too, just because it's good to keep things balanced. So to recap, you just put your arm out, push it down to the floor. So those are my top 3 baseball stretches Those are the ones that have just helped me the most. After you get really loose and open in those ones, you should feel a lot better. And your performance in baseball should be a lot better too. And just in, daily life, because you're stretching hip flexors, which are usually tight for most people, and your piriformis muscle, which is like a deep glute muscle, which is also usually pretty tight. And both those muscles can cause back pain because it's your hips, and usually hips cause low back pain. And if you have low back pain, then you can't really swing a baseball bat, sorry. And you can't really pitch, you can't really throw, you can't really do anything. So those are the 3 stretches that really help me with baseball.